What's up, guys? This is MTG Lab. Today we'll be presenting you some modern playtesting.
In case you don't know, this is Peter and I'm Bart. Today our plan is to take a little bit different approach. We want to play some combo decks. Peter is gonna take
Scapeshift,
and I'm gonna take Living End.
so I hope you'll enjoy it.
I hope you'll enjoy it too. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Bart, and today I'm bringing you the Living End. The deck is basically a combo deck. It looks funny in modern meta game because it plays huge creatures, which are basically vanilla creatures. They cost billion of mana, but somehow they enter the battlefield and sometimes, if you're lucky, manage to kill your opponent. The way to be lucky is to resolve the Living End. You don't want to hard cast it. I mean, by that I mean suspend it. You want to cascade into the Living End using either Violent Outburst or Demonic Dread. The better is, of course, the Violent Outburst because it doesn't need a creature to be its target. Okay, so you basically run 8 enablers for your combo, a lot of creatures with cycling, 4 Fulminator Mages, and 4 copies of Beast Within to disrupt your opponent's mana base, and 3 copies of Simian Spirit Guide. This creature is really essential for this deck because it enables you to resolve a Living End, for example, on your turn 2. As for the mana base, you run like 19 lands. Sometimes it's 18 if you're greedier, but I prefer to have 19th land in form of Keswick Wolfrun, because sometimes it will come to a situation in which you have to have some type of evasion to get through. Your creatures are, of course, big, but when facing Tarmogoyf, they might not be the biggest on the battlefield. So as for the lands, you have 7 Scars of Mirrors and fast lands. This deck basically needs only 3, maybe 4 lands because you want to end the game very fast and you don't want to pain yourself a lot, as you're already using 4 copies of Street Wraith, and it might come to a situation when you need to raise your opponent, so your life is very valuable. Then we have like 4 copies of different shocklands, and by that I mean 2 Overgrown Tombs, 1 Blood Crypt, and 1 Stomping Ground, and 3 basics, 1 of each. Okay, as for the sideboard, we have 2 Spike Feeders, as I call them, the apples. Apples are very important when facing any aggressive strategy, or including burns and affinity, because they might be fast enough to kill you before you combo off. So having an way to regain your life lost during the game is crucial. Then we have 4 copies of Ingot Chewer. Ingot Chewer is basically for affinity. This deck is really rapid and can kill you very quickly. So you have to have a way to kill their threats as fast as possible. Then we have Ricochet Traps. Ricochet Traps are key cards when you're facing any blue deck with counter magic, because your way to win the game is basically resolving Living End. And when you are trying to resolve the Living End, you have to be able to protect it somehow. as it's still on a stack. Then we have 3 copies of Lifeline of the Void. These are meant to be a way to deal with other decks that rely on graveyard or can sacrifice their whole board. This includes both Melirapod decks as well as Affinity, because they have Arcbound Ravager that can sacrifice all of their creatures to bring everything back on the spot. Then we have Damping Matrices. This is an addition to the sideboard that is to prevent you from losing against Melirapod decks, Kikipod decks, as well as very popular Splinter Rings. You need to have a way to counter their combo. This meta game will be focused more around combo strategies and counter magic strategies than it's been before. So Damping Matrix is the choice. Last but not least, we have Dismember. Again, it's a card that is to prevent you from dying to another creature combo decks. And I think that's basically it about the sideboard. What I need to mention, if you are planning to build this deck, you have to remember that you need to keep everything both in the sideboard and in the main deck above mana cost 3, above mana cost 2, because the only card you want to cascade into is the Living End. This is the most important note when you're trying to build the Living End deck. Let's try. I suggest you to try it and have some fun. It might not be the best position deck, but it brings some fun playing these awkward, huge dudes that do nothing. So go and try it.
Okay, today I'm playing with Scapeshift, my favorite combo deck in Modern. It's basically something between combo deck and control, because you have a lot of counter spells, disruption, as well as basically one card combo. To win the game, you need 7 or 8 lands and Scapeshift. 7 lands is 18 damage, and 8 lands is possibly 36 damage. So the rest of the deck is built around this card to support playing it. I play 8 Ram spells, 4 Sakuras and 4 Search for Tomorrow, which are the best this type of card, looking for land and putting it onto the battlefield. Also 4 Remands and Cryptic Commands, which are great counter spells because they draw a card, which is very essential to find your way to win the game. So Scapeshift. Something that is not ordinary in this type of deck is Serum Visions, but I like it quite a bit. Usually people play here Easy Trumps, but I decided to play this cheap cantrip because it really helps me to keep my starting 7 and dig for what I need, whether is it land or Scapeshift. Okay, so I have 2 Peerful Depths to search for my combo or Cryptic Command, 2 Snapcaster Mage to rebuy my great spells, so Cryptic Commands and possibly even Scapeshift, and to fight opposing creatures. I have really good package of removal, so Anger of the Gods, the premium removal, mass removal of this format, because it deals with Kitchen Things, Voice of Resurgence, and other things like this. So it's really great removal. And Electrolyze. The advantage of this one is making possibly 3 for 1, killing birds and draw a card, or just kill 1 creature and draw a card. And to Lightning Bolt, as a best one mana removal in this format. I have played 25 lands, and it consists of 7 basics, 8 10 shocklands, and 5 fetch lands. 1 Flooded Grove, 2 Valakuts. It's the minimum number of Valakuts. Playing more doesn't pay off because they are really bad on your starting hand or whenever you draw it. But it's the minimum hand to reliably kill your opponent. And Flooded Grove, just as one of really great land, doesn't pain you at all, and gives you double green and double blue to cast either Scapeshift or Cryptic Command. Let's move to the sideboard. I have 3 Obstinate Ballots. It's a generic good card. 4 mana 4/4, gives you 4 life when it enters the battlefield. So it helps against Zoo and any other aggressive strategies. So let's assume you play it on turn 3 after ramping, and then you stabilize against any type of aggro deck. I have 1 Anger of the Gods. It comes in similar matchups as Obstinate Ballot. Very good card. It's great against melee rapport, especially. 1 Negate. I have a lot of counter spells here, so 1 Negate, 2 Counter Flags, and 1 Dispel. These all are aimed to fight combo decks, control, which are a big factor right now. Actually, the most popular decks are blue, so I want to have as many discards as possible. I have also 2 Relic of Progenitus, a card that is very versatile against any type of graveyard strategy, as well as Tarmogoyfs, which are really a big issue. I'm really struggling because my removal usually deals not enough damage to kill them. 1 Teferi, also against blue decks, but this one I really like because it blanks all of your opponent counter spells after it resolves. And you can play it end of turn, which is very convenient. 1 Engineering Explosives. It's a card that fits many roles. It can destroy small creatures in if you're playing aggressive strategy. Also, it allows you to blow up Blood Moon, which is a huge issue. Of course, when Blood Moon resolves, you cannot combo off because your Valakut is a mountain. 1 Wurmcoil as a replaceable win condition. It's important to have this one in case your opponent resolves Blood Moon, for example, or I want to have more good spells. So it's really good, but I don't like it that much, so only 1. Nature's Claim to fight Affinity, as well as mentioned before, decks that have some artifacts or enchantments in bigger number. Vendilion Clique, same matchup as Teferi, just creature that you play end of turn, and it interacts with your opponent's counter spells or playing combo in this case. So yeah, I feel like this deck is really good. I played it for a while, and I feel in current modern metagame, it has a real place after Jund presence decreased. So I really would recommend at least trying it because it has really good matchups. Yeah, so that's basically it.